Hello, today I'll be presenting on metals, specifically tungsten. I'll be walking you through the tungsten's unique properties and how it was mined and processed, and some examples of products we use every day that depend on this extraordinary metal. What is tungsten? Tungsten is a remarkable element. It has one of the highest melting points of any metal, which is about 3,422 degrees Celsius or 6,192 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a very dense and strong material. You'll most often find it in ores like wolframite and scheelite. Because of these properties, tungsten is widely used in cutting tools, light bulb filaments, electrical contacts, and alloys, and even in medical and military equipment. Mining. Tungsten is mined using two main methods: one, open pit mining, and two, underground mining. Open pit mining removes soil and rock near the surface to access ore deposits that are in shallow areas. This works best with large quantities that are in said shallow areas. Underground mining, on the other hand, is used where the ore deposits are deeper. Shafts and tunnels are used to get to said deposits. Ore processing, crushing and grinding. Once the tungsten ore is extracted, it undergoes a process to separate the useful material from the rock. First, the ore is fed into a crusher, which breaks the large rocks into smaller, more manageable pieces. These said pieces next get sent to a grinder, or ball mill, which further reduces the material into fine particles. This size reduction makes it easier to separate the tungsten ore from the unwanted minerals from the rock. And on the picture on the left, you can see it being crushed from the bigger rocks into the smaller rocks using a crushing chamber, which the jaw moves that crushes said rocks into smaller, more finer particles, which are then sent into a grinder that's with a ball that slowly rotates with spikes on it that crushes it into finer particles, which then get fed out through here. Which is a key industrial intermediate. It is then heated into a furnace to form tungsten oxide. Finally, this oxide is reduced in the hydrogen reduction furnace at very high temperatures, producing pure tungsten powder. This tungsten powder is then pressed, sintered, and mechanically worked into bars, rods, or other useful forms. Here you can see the hydrogen reduction process sub-process. Here you can see your gas collection device, your vacuum pump, your heating area where your material is located, your physical diagram of the special crucible, your WO2 powder, your phosphorus plate, your hydrogen layer, and metal hydrogen pipeline. This overall shows where the process where you put in your material and then it reduces the hydrogen in it to allow for it to become more of a pure substance. Finished products. The tungsten powder can now be transformed into many finished products, three of which are, for example, CNC bits, where tungsten hardness makes it perfect for cutting through tough metals, 3D filament, where tungsten is mixed into polymers to create strong and heavy and even radiation shielding parts in 3D fabrication labs, saw blades, especially those with carbide tips, which stay sharp and much longer than steel alone, which makes titanium a good fit for saw blades. Each of these applications takes advantage of tungsten's density, strength, and high temperature resistance. Process diagram. This flow diagram shows the complete journey from raw tungsten ore to concentrated material, chemical treatment, conversion to an oxide, hydrogen reduction, and finally the creation of tungsten powder and its products. It is a clear step-by-step map of how a raw rock becomes a vital industrial material. Here you can see your ores being then crushed into a crusher into your crushed ore, which is further grinded into a tungsten ore which is concentrated. Then it is chemically treated to become tungstenic acid, or ammonium tungstate, which is then heated to form tungsten oxide, which is reduced in the hydrogen reduction furnace, as mentioned earlier, into tungsten powder, which is then worked as with ways previously stated to create tungsten products. Conclusion. To summarize, tungsten ore is refined through mining, concentrating, chemical reactions, reductions into pure tungsten powder, which with metallurgy transforms the powder into useful forms like rods, bars, and other carbide-based tools. Overall, tungsten as a material has remarkable strength and a lasting importance in modern technology. Citations. These are the sources I used to prepare this presentation.